Shabbat Shalom, everybody. Welcome to our Zoom Parsha. Well, I'm going to go ahead and just give you a little bit of Torah since you missed it in the service. We did try to bring you our live stream service. We stopped and we thought that we got it going again, and then we thought we'd do the whole service and you'd be able to see it later as a recorded entity, but it did not record. So we'll go ahead and give you the sermon now and also a few announcements. So please be sure to continue to take our Zoom classes. Monday, we have Roger Peterson at 7 p.m. We have Alexis Tannen Hardy, Monday through Thursday, doing her workout fitness regime. And I think that's at 5. And we also have on Tuesdays, the first and third Tuesday, Bible. I think everybody's doing Isaiah right now. On Wednesday, we have Bring Your Own Beverage. So it doesn't have to be wine. It doesn't have to be tequila. It can be coffee. It can be tea. It can be water. It can be orange juice. It could be whiskey. It could be champagne. Just join us. It's a weekly opportunity for everyone to get together and say, hey, and, check in with each other and catch up on what's going on and wish each other good health and happiness. And then on Thursdays, we have our Hebrew happiness again, a double dose, where we can meditate on the Hebrew letters and do a connection in the Kabbalistic way to complement what you're doing with Roger in the Eastern way. And then there's Torah study after every single service. So there will be Torah study Saturday morning, Shabbos morning. Also, we wanted to mention, once again, thank you to Joy Feldman and Bob Feldman for being service sponsors for our last service that we did. We are shifting ONEG sponsorships to service sponsorships. So, pardon me if I didn't mention somebody for this Shabbat. I was not told that we had anyone. So if you did sponsor an ONEG for this Shabbos, we will mention you or send something out, mention you in the following service, the third week of July. So please be sure to tune in on the third Friday of July. And in the meantime, we're going to get everything all set up for you with the live stream, the cameras, the sound, and everything. Also, Elias and Mark Reichert, Elias Rosanitzky and Mark Reichert have been busily at work taking care of everything in the building. So the pews are, portioned off with tape and social distancing, and the chairs are set out very nicely in the social hall. We have signs up and sanitizer up. So we're doing everything to get ready for you. So hopefully we won't have this problem because you'll actually be in the building starting the third Friday of July, unless you're going to stay home, but then you're going to have a better worship experience online because we will have these things taken care of. So forgive us for the interruption, but hopefully you will enjoy the sermon that we're going to give right now. So thank you to Diana Wolf, our president, our board of trustees, our sisterhood, to Dan and Marianne, who were there to do music with me today, and to all of you for being faithful and loyal people of the congregation and the community, the family, the Mishpacha of Temple Emet. So now I'm going to connect to our sermon. Our parsha, Shelach Lecha, this evening, going through the day of tomorrow into sunset, is famous for the story of the 12 spies that were actually sent out to explore the land of Canaan. Moses tells them to go up into the Negev, into the hill country, and see what kind of country it is. Are the people who dwell in this land, are they strong or weak, few or many? Is the country in which they dwell good or bad? And do they find ways to actually be able to till the land? Could you bring back some of the fruit of the land? So they were supposed to go out there, investigate, have this expedition, and then come back and report. They spend 40 days exploring everything that the land had to offer. They then return to the Israelite camp to say, we came to the land that you sent us to. It does indeed flow with milk and honey. However, the people who inhabit this country are powerful, and the cities are fortified and very large. This then instilled fear and apprehension. 10 of the 12 scouts elaborated even more. We cannot attack that people, for it is stronger than we. 2 of the spies, Caleb and Joshua, had a very different story. The land that we traversed and scouted is an exceedingly good land. Have no fear then of the people of the country, for they are actually our prey. Their protection has departed from them, but the Eternal is with us. Have no fear of them. Our Torah usually seems to parallel or relate to current events, even though the text is thousands and thousands and thousands of years old. What we have here are two groups of individuals looking at the same set of facts, but coming away with diametrically opposing views. Does this sound a little familiar? In the end, we see what we want to see. We have a lot of this going on in our world today, and it apparently went on all those thousands of years ago. Our vision may be colored by bias, fear, preconceived ideas, and the need to be right, or maybe an inability to delve deeper, to see beyond what's being said or seen, to uncover the real truth that's hidden within. The first group of 10 may have started their journey with a different agenda, and maybe they weren't as open-minded as Joshua and Caleb. They may have had other factors influencing their point of view and overall perspective going into it. Maybe Joshua and Caleb were more visionary, able to see the land's potential, whereas the others were full of fear or unable to embrace something new, or that which maybe seemed more challenging. They've already had a lot of challenges. Maybe they just weren't up for any more. But at the end of the day, the land was the land and the people were the people. Truth is truth. However, it is the point of view, the perspective, that matters. It's like two people seeing an accident. My favorite example for this parsha. Both observe the exact same event, but they come away with very different points of view about what actually happened. We are seeing so much of this today with civil unrest and differing political and societal perspectives. Each group thinks that their position is right, and they will fight unyieldingly to defend their point of view. In the end, it's Joshua who leads the next generation into the promised land. The ones redeemed from the time of slavery, the ones who believed the 10 negative spies, they couldn't get past their slave mentality. They couldn't overcome their past habits and the fears that held them back. Change was coming, whether they liked it or not. The expedition may have been actually more of a test than anything else, an exercise to see who is most worthy, who had the strength of conviction and the vision to carry this people forward. Moses carries them thus far, but actually his time is running out. In order to prosper and grow, it is essential at times to be able to be open to taking some risks, having to be flexible, open-minded, and not resistant to change. To have the vision to see that which is unseen, or at least rely on those that do. The first group saw what they wanted to see so as to support their own point of view and their level of comfort. Joshua and Caleb saw the opportunity for what it was and what it could be. It's a choice between being positive or negative, a glass half empty or full type of person. The 10 men were ultimately struck down with a plague, and they actually all die of unnatural causes. Whereas the other two, Joshua and Caleb, they not only survived, but they thrived to actually forge ahead, fulfilling God's will and promise. So why? They had faith. To quote their own words, the eternal is with us. Have no fear. It's that kind of faith that was needed to carry the people forward. The whole situation was an unfortunate occurrence. It would have been great if they had all agreed. However, that is not reality. People disagree. They can sometimes be miles apart on seemingly simple situations. Actually, that's what keeps the lawyers and the mediators in business. Even then, they had mediators. So this is what it's like in life. But the hard truth is that the incident laid the foundation for the future generation to actually go forward with the work that Moses and the predecessors pondered. The unrest that we have in our world today, the political discord, and even the great pause afforded to us by this pandemic will push us to recreate ourselves if we allow it to. Much like the Israelites, we will have to open up our minds, our hearts, our souls, to reach for something better, something greater in ourselves and each other, our surroundings, and the legacy we intend to leave behind. We need to do this or face the plague of certain destruction. Do we choose the misleading comfort of antiquated regimes, misconceptions driven by those pushing the hardest, or maybe reaching for something bigger, more honest, more in alignment with what God wants for us? Are we willing to put our different points of view behind us and reach together, yad b'yad, hand in hand, b'yachad, together to create something new? Because the task is never finished. The work is never behind us. In order to be ever evolving, we need to be proactive and sometimes willing to listen and adapt to a different point of view, willing to loosen the grip on our need to be right versus being open to a different perspective that may actually lead us to brighter horizons and promise. God already knew what the land held when Moses was bidden to set up the expedition. The question was, how are we going to react? What choices would we make when faced with the opportunity? Would faith guide us or would fear guide us? That's pretty much the question in every situation. Joshua and Caleb had the answer. The Eternal is with us. Have no fear. On this Shabbat of Shelach Lecha, may we have the courage to let the force of perspective guide us. This force. Let us be open-minded. Let us be willing to entertain both sides, both perspectives, all different points of view, but approach things with a willingness to hear, to listen, to feel, to expand, to grow, and to be willing to go forward with sometimes a plan that maybe upsets the regime or gets us out of our comfort zone. As we navigate the turbulent times ahead, we need to have faith, may it be so, and not fear, and know that the Eternal is with us. That this pain that we all feel right now is part of the growing pains necessary to achieve something greater, something magnificent, something more evolved, and that all the lives that have been lost will not be in vain. So Ken Yehi Ratzon, may it be God's will. Shabbat Shalom.